Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to another video from T.W White Sons Mazda. Here we have today a June 2015 registered Mazda CX-5. Now this is the SEL specification, but this is an all-wheel drive automatic. This has got the 2.2 diesel engine producing 150 PS, so about 148 bhp. So this is a very rare car, being all-wheel drive, diesel, auto, especially in this 150 SEL spec. Now, we have some people, they don't want leather seats in their cars, etc, etc. This would be perfect for them because this has got the cloth interior and the smaller wheels, so the better ride. But it has the all-wheel drive, just like the sport model automatics of this era. Now, the other unusual thing about this car is it's the facelifted car. Now, this is, I cannot tell you how important this is, because the earlier vehicles, they had a very primitive sat-nav. They didn't have DAB radio. The interiors just weren't as nice, and I'll show you all that detail when we get inside. And this has got like a facelifted front and rear end. It's a more refined car. It's a little bit quieter as well. So I would only have one of these now if it was the facelift. It was a real improvement. Now, with all my videos, I always like to give, or our videos should I say, always like to give a little bit of background on the vehicle. Now, we sold this car from new, okay? And yes, this was actually registered to T.W White Sons from new. And then we sold this to a customer of ours who's still a customer of ours. They're now in a newer CX-5. So that was the first private owner. I think this actually was my showroom car from memory. And then we sold it to its second owner. So it's 3 owners in total. First was ourselves, T.W White Sons. The third owner no longer requires a car. So she popped in yesterday wanting to sell it. And I always told her never to sell it to anyone else. We'll always have the car back, because we've always looked after this car as well. We've always maintained it, and this is the sort of stock that is quite rare to get hold of. And it's always better to sell the cars that you've sold from new, serviced and looked after. So that's the background on the vehicle. And if you're watching, I won't mention any names. Thank you very much for the car. It's absolutely lovely indeed. Right, so let's start at the back and work our way into the vehicle. Now, hopefully, from the photographs, and I've taken quite a few, and this video, you can see the condition of the car is superb. Really lovely indeed. Now, you've got an enormous boot and a good practical shape, all right? Now, you've got these very handy little levers here. So look, see this little one here? If I pull that, that'll go down. Now, I think the official name for that is a ski hatch. I would call it the DIY hatch. I've never been skiing, but that'll come very useful. Saves the acrobatics when you've got things in your hands. And you've also got these levers here. So, an already decent large space has now doubled in size. Now you're probably wondering, do they fold flat? They do indeed. Well, not quite 180 degrees, but very close to it. Okay, and they just pop up like so. So very practical vehicle, and extremely family friendly. Which brings me on to ISOFIX anchorages on the 2 outer rear seats. Now, my gauge of a family friendly vehicle is, could you get prams in the back? And you certainly could, and the rest, whatever else you needed. It's a very good size boot, so a good choice for a family car. And this tonneau cover here, you can take this out, yep, and it hides under here. There's a space to store it, because like a lot of these things, if they're taken out of the car, they rarely go back in. But there's a place to store it, so no excuse for missing tonneau covers. So yeah, there we are. So lots of space. Now, the only thing that would let you know that this is an all drive model is this little badge here on the back, but this is very, very rare indeed. And so if you are comparing this to SEL diesel automatic vehicles, please compare it to the all-wheel drive, because I think you'll find there aren't many out there at all. And if you live, you know, in a rural area, small holdings farm, etc., then this will be very useful indeed. Okay, now let's get in the vehicle. So you've got your usual electric windows, mirrors. I say usual. I got in a car the other day, not a Mazda. It had wind-up rear windows. I really didn't think they did that anymore. Height adjustable seat on both the driver and passenger side. Now, remember I was talking about a facelift? So let's turn the car on. It's very hot. I think it's about 32 degrees today. There you go, 2 keys. Foot on the brake. Foot on the brake. Press this button here. And it fires into life. So there's the mileage, 62,584 miles, and I've got the service history here, which I'll share with you in a moment. Now, the air conditioning on this car is super impressive. 31 degrees, it's registering, it feels like 40, but in the car it feels lovely and cool. That's lovely. It doesn't take a long time to get cold. It's working very efficiently. Now, let's get to the service history. So Mazda employ a digital service record. Now look, it says the dealer, so T.W White Sons Orpington. Now we have 3 Mazda dealerships, but this has all been done at our Orpington one, where I've been for the last 11 years, I think. So 13 miles on the 1st of July, it had its PDI, that's a pre-delivery inspection. Okay, and then June 2016, it had its first service at 6611 miles. May 2017, June 2018, May 2019, November 2019, September 21, December 21. Okay, so this, oh sorry, I was going to say there was a short period in between. So September 2021 it was serviced, and then it had an MOT at Shire's Garage Auto Service, Somerton Road, Langport. That's where our customer, my customer, in fact I know both these previous customers personally really, she got a job in this part of the world, and that's where she had the MOT. Okay, but she's moved back here now and doesn't need the car because she can get the train. And I'd imagine with this ever rising cost of living, more and more people will probably be looking at alternative transport, or certainly more economical. Now that brings me on to my other point. This car is super economical. Being the 2.2 SKYACTIV diesel, you should be getting, I would say, a minimum of about 40 mpg, right up to well into the 50s. I've had customers get a lot more than that. I would say if you stay within the legal limits on the motor, you know, and you don't drive enthusiastically, you'll get a very, very good fuel consumption indeed. So this would be a car, you know, if you're doing the miles, it would be very, very suitable. Now, comfort features, you've got auto lights, auto wipers, cruise control. You've got a tyre pressure monitoring system that'll let you know if any of the tyre pressures fall 4 psi or more. Traction control to keep you on the road as safely as possible. I-stop, that's to save you money when your car is stationary. Foot on the brake, the engine will switch itself off to save. Well, it's designed to be less harmful to the environment, but it will be less harmful to your pocket as well. Okay. Now, remember I said about a facelift. So you've got this more up-to-date gear gator. You're probably thinking, is that it? But look at this, the center console, no handbrake. So you've got the finger brake, and being an automatic, you rarely use that, but it's got hill hold assist, and you've got this multimedia commander, which is a lot more modern than the cars produced a few months before this car, and that would be coupled to a TomTom sat nav, which is really slow and cumbersome. Now this system that I'm showing you here this has been put in CX-5s right up to about 6 months ago. Okay, so this car was very, very advanced for its year. Okay, so please don't confuse this car with the cars with the TomTom sat nav. It takes minutes for the cars to pair up. Even once you've paired the vehicle up, it will take minutes for it to actually register with the phone. I say it's slow, it's cumbersome, and you don't have the DAB radio. Now, this system as well can be upgraded to have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto for you techie people out there. I say techie people, my mum's not a techie person. She enjoys using CarPlay and Android Auto. I was shocked that my 70-year-old mum knew that, what that was, and because she insisted to have it on her latest car. But the grandkids educated her, and she can play all the nursery rhymes, etc. through it. So you'd have Android Auto, CarPlay here, and once you plug your phone in, you can then utilise those apps on your phone, have them displayed here, and operate them. Okay, then you can use Google Maps and Waze and WhatsApp and various other things. Okay, so entertainment. You've got your traditional FM, AM, DAB. DAB radio is definitely something that I require because you have a lot more variety, and you can listen to Talk Sport in clarity. Okay, but all lovely indeed. Look, you've got 80s, 90s absolute, so you've got all the sister channels on there, and national, local channels, etc. I was very impressed when you could listen to LBC radio outside of London through the DAB platform. You can also utilise these USB slots here, or the auxiliary thing there. I mean, I can't imagine anyone uses that these days, but you never know. And you've got AHA and Stitcher, which are apps. I've never actually used them. In fact, I don't know anyone that has, which is probably why they're no longer on the current model. Okay, so that's your entertainment. Communication. So once you've paired your phone up, you can pair multiple phones. You can access the call lists, missed call, dial calls, etc. And you also get notified when you get an SMS text message if you have an Android phone, which was quite comical for my friends to start sending me texts because it would read them out in like a robotic voice. So you've got that there. You do have a built-in sat-nav, which I have personally used to travel. I've travelled as far as the Tatra Mountains in south of Poland one summer, and it did it a treat. And normally you would search in the UK under a postcode, which you go to town. If you don't have the postcode, you can whittle down by country, town, street name, etc. So very good indeed. And you've got this feature here that I can search for fuel stations, for example, around here. Okay, so you're looking at the direction and the distance. Now, I always find that there's been, especially this in the last couple of months, there's a real variation in fuel prices. Now you can set this. You can set a Wi-Fi hotspot up from your phone, which uses a minimal amount of data, and your car will be in effect connected to the internet, and it will also tell you fuel prices, which I think is very, very useful. Okay, especially, well, as I say, it's quite a topical thing at the moment. You'll also get updated traffic reports, alerts, etc., and weather reports, etc. Lots of things. Now, this display you can just turn off if that's irritating you. I don't know anyone that does that, to be honest. Safety. This car is very safe. You've got smart city brake support, ABS brakes, etc. Smart city brake support, which you can deactivate. Basically, what that will do, for example, I'm driving down the road, I come to a bottleneck, it stops start traffic. It's a hot day like this. I'm getting a bit lethargic. I'm looking out the window, I'm distracted, and the car rolls, and I take my eye off the road here. The car's rolling ahead, and I get too close to the car in front. The car will apply the brakes quite fiercely. Actually, I've done a demonstration of this. Now, this, you know, you may be the best driver in the world and this may never happen to you. The great thing is it's recognised by the insurers that the car has it. It gives it a very good insurance rate, group rating, and therefore it should be reflected in your premium, okay? Because statistically a lot of accidents do happen in that scenario, low speed, under 20 miles an hour. This will only work under 20 miles an hour, providing there's no driver input. You're not turning, braking, accelerating. So the car thinks you literally have got distracted, okay? Sound system, it's great. I know this is the SCL without the Bose, but it is brilliant. Years ago I would have said, oh, I have to have a Bose stereo. I mean, if it really bothered me that much, I'd stick a Bose sticker on there, because the stereos are very, very good. I don't know many people that upgrade theirs these days. They are very good indeed. Clock is GPS synced, so I think there's 11 satellites up there for the sat nav, so you won't get a more accurate time than that. You've got rain sensing wipers, lighting features, you know, leaving home lights, etc. Devices, so your Bluetooth network management system, Fahrenheit, Celsius, etc. Okay, so just to recap, this is a facelifted car. Okay, it's got the updated sat nav, which is miles ahead of the old one. The old one is, oh, I wouldn't even use it. This I would use, even though it's what, 5, 6, 7 years old, and you can get CarPlay on there. You've got the better interior, it's more slick, okay, it's quieter, all right. Superb service history, beautiful condition, always looked after us by T.W White Sons, bar the last MOT. We will of course put the car through the workshop just to make sure everything's tickety-boo. Mileage is 62,584, it was last serviced at 56, so we will service the car as well. The car will come with a 12-month Mazda ZZ Plus warranty. So I've seen warranties people have got from independents. We've even looked at these ourselves. They've got silly claim limits of like £250. You can't really make a claim on them. That old saying, not worth the paper it's printed on, definitely applies to those kinds of warranties. Our warranty, the claim limit is the value of the car. So it's a comprehensive warranty. It's the follow-on from the manufacturer's warranty, and it also comes with roadside assistance, and we're not talking a complimentary roadside assistance that will only pick you up if you're away from home. It won't do home start, it won't do this, that, the other. This will be the comprehensive one. It covers you in Europe as well, covers any passengers in the vehicle, hire car, etc. Okay, so warranty we've covered. Part exchange is they are extremely welcome. Part exchange, we want your part exchange, and you'll see from our website we have other cars than Mazdas and Suzukis, which are what we are franchises of. We get a lot of conquest business from other brands. Mazda have got a very exciting lineup. They have done, and they now have done for the last few years. They're bringing out cars, new models, etc. Very often. So we get lots of conquest business. So we want your part exchange. You'll get the best deal with your part exchange. But please do as they say on TV. Punch your reg number in now and get a valuation in 10 seconds or whatever they say these days. And then speak to us. Okay, you'll get the best deal. We've got great finance facilities. We've got the facility to extend warranties, full dealer facility. So if you want an online consultation, video walk round, more specific photos, videos, please don't hesitate to ask, and do inquire any time of day, 7 days a week. We shall try to respond outside normal business hours. You can even give us a call and leave us a voicemail. Better still, drop us an email or go on to live chat. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Okay, I hope it's been informative, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Bye bye.